Hi everybody, I'm Richard Wharton and I am an amateur DCS pilot. I have been flying since about 2016 and I've really enjoyed it, but I also have sort of understood some of the intimidation that occurs with the learning curve that is for my practical purposes, a full-on flight simulator, combat flight simulator. Today, this is mission 2 of an infinite number of times that we are going to revisit an air-to-air refueling in an F-16. So the last mission that we did, I showed you how I approach the tanker, how I use the radio, how I turn on how I open up the doors on the spine of the F-16, other things like that. We're going to go over that again, and we're going to try and practice connecting with the tanker to get a full tank of gas. Let's go ahead and get flying. Okay, so we're going to start out with an acceleration, and if you take a look at my left side of my HUD, we're traveling at 370 knots. We're at about 16,140 feet of elevation.
Texaco 1-1, in field 1-1, request rejoin.
I just made the radio call out to the tanker.
In field 1-1, Texaco 1-1, proceed to pre-contact at 16,000 at 350.
All right, so he wants to meet me at 16,000 feet and approximately 350 knots. Now, you can see that I accelerated up to close to 400 and I'm now decelerating, and that's because I need to catch up with the tanker before I can actually perform the refueling. Also, you'll notice that I'm off to the left of the tanker. From what I've heard and from what I've read with my instructor, we always want to approach slightly off-center to the tanker and then slot in to the boom so that we can get our refueling. Let's take a look. Down low, you can take a look right there. You'll see that I'm about to activate the spinal door so that we can perform the refueling. I also made a point to hit the button on the front for list and then the number 2. And what that did was that took my DED, which you see on the right-hand side, to the fuel status and the bingo status. Right now I've got about 1,975 pounds of fuel, and I'm burning about a pound a second. You'll see fuel flashing on the heads-up display as I approach. I'm approaching probably a little bit too slowly. I might want to get there a little bit quicker. Let's see if I can goose it just a little bit and go from there. Now you'll see that the KC-135 has dropped the boom and the extender. And again, I am not a professional. I'm just doing this to sort of help others out that are in worse shape than me. Okay, so I'm closed in. I still have one more thing to do with the radio, and I need to hit F1, ready pre-contact. We want to do it when we're really close to the tanker. Slotting in.
Ready pre-contact.
Just made the radio call.
Clear to contact.
And I got approval, cleared to contact. So now I'm lined up. Still accelerating just a little bit. Now, I'm not too worried about the boom getting in the way. I think that's a glitch, honestly. I know you can hit the boom, but ignore the proximity of the boom to the canopy. Now, if you look at the forward end of the KC-135, on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, you see 2 tracks. The left track is green, the right track is red and near. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Okay. Now,
Contact.
both tracks are in the green. The left track is the whether I need to go nose up or nose down, and the right track is whether I'm too far forward or too far back of the sweet spot for the boom operator. Now, if we look down, we'll see that I am taking on fuel, 2,800 pounds, and growing. Now, I am not good at this. This is why I practice. This is probably air-to-air refueling attempt number 74 or 75, and I very, very rarely, if ever, stay connected to the boom the whole time. So we'll take a look. You'll see I still have not reconnected, so I'm slowly having to just feel my way around with the throttle. Tiny adjustments on the throttle, tiny adjustments on the joystick. I've set the curve on my joystick for pitch to, I think, 12 or 15, which I know is not what Chuck Owl, the expert, would recommend, but this is for my own purposes, and I think everybody's joystick is a little bit different based on just use.
Contact.
Okay, so we got connections.
You're taking fuel.
Taking fuel. 3,100 pounds. 3,200 pounds. I'm keeping it somewhat in the green. And again, I'm constantly working the throttle. Let's watch the fuel flow. See the fuel flow? See how I'm constantly adjusting the throttle? And if you look, I'm also constantly adjusting the pitch. I had a disconnect. Here we are. I had a disconnect. So now I've got to go fight to get this thing reconnected. And again, this is why we practice.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
Taking on more fuel. We're back in the sweet spot. Green on green. 4,600. 4,700. 5,000. I'm a little bit behind, but I'm still connected. It is so hard to stay in there. You can see I had another disconnect right there. Okay. I accelerated, and guess what? I got too fast, so it's probably a second too long on the throttle. Gotta wait for the boom operator to do his thing. And if I keep moving around, the boom operator can't do his thing. Now, I usually tell myself if I can see the coast, I'm running out of time. See how I'm seesawing forward and backward a little bit? Look at that right track, it's still red. My left track says I need to descend.
Contact.
Sorry about that. And now
You're taking fuel.
I got another connection. I'm holding onto it, holding onto it, holding onto it. 6,100 pounds, another 1,000 pounds to go. Holding onto it, green on green. Anticipate what's going to happen to the drag. I'm not completely lined up, but I'm trying.
Transfer complete.
And 7,155
Disconnect.
pounds. Notice the lights have turned off. Let's go down. Check the air-to-air refueling. It's closed. And bid the tanker goodbye. Okay. So again, the purpose of this exercise is to show the same task over and over again so that you yourself can study it. You can hear what I'm doing to try to correct my mistakes in the moment, and hopefully you'll learn something from it so that when you attempt to do this, you'll have a quicker learning curve than I have or I did. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Richard Wharton, and have a great flight.